This is my Word on the Street video 2 for Unit 3, Identity and Culture. The topic I'm going to be covering is social location, which is the groups that people belong to because of their place or position in history and society. Every person has a different social location that is defined by their gender, race, social class, ability, religion, sexual orientation, and/or geographic location. One of the main examples of social location that I could relate to in the readings was that culture is not experienced identically by all members of society because of inequities, and this means that it's a different experience for man versus woman. So for example, I grew up in a house with my dad and my 3 brothers, and now as of the last 3 years I have a stepbrother, so I have a 4th brother. And I would say that my experience for a lot of things was different growing up just because I did not have a woman role model. I had all men. So for me, I'm able to see more of both sides, and I can see both viewpoints and stuff, but I am a woman, so my brothers didn't necessarily understand, but at the same time I understand a lot more and know how to maybe deal with things differently just because I was surrounded by men growing up. And for example, with some of my friends, certain situations I know how to handle better or feel more comfortable. So like I said, social location involves your race and ethnicity and your family and male or female, your gender. So I generated 5 questions to ask a group of my friends because I thought of it like the video that was on, I think it was Dr. Phil, asking those questions, and you either step forward or step backwards, but I can't do that because of coronavirus. So they're just gonna send me videos, and it's just an example of where I'm from necessarily. We're all pretty similar, so there's not much diversity, but I'd still like to share what would be similar from where I'm from and what isn't, even though it's very slim. So I'm also gonna do myself just because I grew up with different experience, I think. The first question is, what is your name and your age? My name is Marley Smith and I'm 19 years old.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm 19.
Name Grace Park, age almost 19.
My name is Jaden Fox. I'm almost 19 years old.
Hi, my name is Karina Lee. I'm 18 years old.
I'm Sierra Agarwal and I'm 19 years old.
The second question is, what is your ethnicity? I am white.
19. I'm white.
White.
My ethnicity is Caucasian.
I'm half Jamaican and half Russian.
I am half white, a quarter Filipino, and a quarter Indian.
The third question is, did you grow up with divorced parents? I grew up with one parent. My parents were divorced, but my mom is not in my life, which is very rare for where I'm from.
I don't have divorced parents, and
I have grown up with divorced parents.
I did not grow up with divorced parents, but I
The fourth question is if you've ever had an uncomfortable encounter with a male. I've never been in an uncomfortable situation with a male.
and I feel like I have been in incidents where I have been sexually taken advantage of, but nothing too traumatizing.
Yes, I've been in an uncomfortable situation with a man.
And I've never been in an uncomfortable situation with a man.
I definitely have been in an uncomfortable situation with a man. I mean, I've been catcalled and just all that random stuff with men.
but I have encountered an uncomfortable situation with a man, just with them reading the situation wrong or getting the wrong interpretation of something, and it's just leading to something that I didn't want it to.
And the fifth question is if you've ever had an issue with race. And I've never had a issue with race.
I have not personally encountered any racial problems, but I've seen it happen in my life before.
And no, I've never been racially profiled.
I've never been racially profiled, and
And I have definitely had a problem when it comes to race, especially growing up in middle school and beginning of high school. And then there's just been some times, recent times, especially during the Black Lives Matter movement. But yeah.
And I have had issues with race because a lot of people think that I'm Black, and so those can lead to certain assumptions that aren't true. Thank you.
So those videos were just an example of my social location, like where I'm from, and my friend's social location, like what we have in common. So it's just like a video to compare and contrast, like the stuff that we may have experienced in the same ways or didn't experience. And I thought that was a really good way to relate the definition of social location, just because I asked questions that I knew like all of us would have somewhat different answers,